Welcome to training for Stony Brook administrators and staff on Ferpa. During this tutorial, you will be prompted to test your knowledge by successfully answering questions. Ferpa is a federal law designed to protect the privacy of education records. The law provides guidelines for appropriately using and releasing student education records. The law also establishes the rights of students to inspect and review their education records and provides guidelines for the correction of inaccurate and misleading data through formal and informal hearings. Select the correct answer to what is Ferpa? Essence of Ferpa. College students must be permitted to inspect their own education records. School officials may not disclose personally identifiable information about students nor permit inspection of their records without their written permission unless such action is covered by certain exceptions permitted by the Act. What are education records? An education record is any record with certain exceptions maintained by an institution that is directly related to a student or students. This record can contain a student's name or information from which an individual student can be personally identified. Records can include files, documents, and materials in whatever medium, handwriting, hard drive, or USB disks, microfilm, etc., which may contain information directly related to students and from which students can be personally identified. Which of the following are considered education records? Select all of the correct answers. What is not an education record? The following items would not be considered an education record. Records in the sole possession of the maker, law enforcement records, records maintained exclusively for individuals in the capacity as employees, medical, psychological treatment records, alumni records. Directory information. Directory information is information contained in a student's education record that would not generally be considered harmful or an invasion of privacy if disclosed. This information cannot be released if the student has a no release on their record. Students must be given the opportunity to request that directory information not be released. Students must be notified of the items of directory information. In Solar or PeopleSoft, Ferpa is identified by the privacy shade located next to the Stony Brook ID. Stony Brook University considers name, local address, local telephone number, college of enrollment and major, degrees and awards received, dates of attendance, enrollment status, officially recognized activities and sports, and date of graduation as directory information. Select the correct answer. Directory information may be released to third parties without consent of the student. Which of the following items can be released without consent? When do Ferpa rights begin? A Ferpa-related college education record begins for a student when he or she enrolls in a higher education institution. At a post-secondary institution, rights belong to the student in attendance, regardless of the student's age. The term parent refers to either custodial or non-custodial parent. At the post-secondary level, parents have no inherent rights to inspect their son's or daughter's education records. Parental rights. Records may be released to the parents only if one of the following conditions is met: through the written consent of the student, in compliance with the subpoena, if the student is a dependent on their most recent tax return. A copy of that return is required. All requests for information should be directed to the university registrar. Select the correct answer for this question. Under what circumstance is a professor permitted to disclose information to my parent? Basic rights of students under the Act. You have the right to be notified of your Ferpa rights at least annually. You have the right to inspect and review your educational records, amend incorrect records, and consent to disclosure with exceptions. When is prior consent not required? School officials with a legitimate education interest. Disclosure to another institution where a student seeks to enroll or is enrolled. Disclosure in connection with the receipt of financial aid. Disclosure to accrediting organizations. Disclosure for a health or safety emergency. Disclosure of directory information or for disciplinary information. Ferpa tips. Verify student identities with photo ID. Shred printed documents with personally identifiable information on them. Password protect USB drives. Remove files from hard drives of workstations. Put away documents with personal information when others visit your workspace. Beware of giving out information over the phone. Laws governing data and privacy. There are several laws that cover individual privacy rights. For example, HIPAA, GLBA, PCI DSS, and state law. This presentation covered student rights as outlined by Ferpa. Additional resources. To learn more about Ferpa and how it applies to you, contact the Registrar's Office at 632-6175. Visit their website at www.stonybrook.edu/registrar/federal rights, or visit the Family Compliance Office of Department of Education's website at www.ed.gov/policy/gen/guide/FPCO. This video has been brought to you by Do It Training and Development. To learn more about what we can do for you and to see other videos we have created, visit our site at www.it.stonybrook.edu/training.